I'm going to give you my score for this showcase at the beginning. If you haven't been able to guess based on the thumbnail, I give it a D. The only reason it's not getting an F is because Square Enix actually convinced me that, hey, I do want to try Trials of Mana. Originally, I was going to sleep on that, but then Square came in and was like, hey, check out this cool gameplay. Here's our motivation when we were doing the designs. And I honestly skipped like probably a third to half of it while I was tweeting a comment. But everything Square showed was not like top tier, but enough that, when you got a game that you're going to like, I'm just going to pass and I have no real interest. And then you see a showcase of that game and you're like, okay, I might actually have to get that game now. That's a good showcase. That is how it should have been done. And that's how the rest of the showcase should have been done. And it flat out wasn't. So Square alone gets this to a D. And the EI is because that was the entirety of this show. I'm not even joking on that. Every one of these, to the certain point, I'm like, hey, do they actually think it's a big deal they have female employees in the company? Because it's 2021. Goddamn. That's when that meme first came out. Or not meme first came out, but it's the 21st century. We get it. You have female employees. But guess what? Come here. Come here. Get over here. Corporate America, come here. Throughout history, despite what historians and academia tell you, women worked different jobs a lot of times. Sometimes their professions are off limits to them, but relatively, there's only a small window overall where you could have stay-at-home wives, unless you were rich. And most of us, throughout history, have not been rich. We all wish we were. Every single Xbox showcase was like, oh, hey, check out these female employees. Hey, check out these female employees. We have female employees. Hey, let's show you our female employees. Aura was like the worst because, like, hey, let's show you these female employees. And they're not even doing game design. I'll be honest, this was embarrassing. If I worked at a company and the way they showed me off was just screwing around during a major press event, I would be embarrassed. I don't know how they're not embarrassed. Whatever. So let's go through this each game. I'm going to skip over Square because I've already given my opinion on it. I really wasn't interested to begin with. Now I kind of am. So that is the only highlight of this entire showcase. So Avowed, again, the DEI stuff, setting aside that, didn't really wow me. The art direction was a bit more tolerable. The combat, I'm actually getting to the point where I'm growing concerned about this game's future. And I should not be concerned about this game's future. I will say it might be one of those cases where, hey, this game plays a lot better than it shows. Don't write it off yet. There's plenty of games that do that. Hopefully Avowed is just a victim of, hey, our marketing just sucks and it plays a lot better than it looks. Hellblade, oh Hellblade. If you've watched my channel for a long time or know me personally, you know I do not like Hellblade as a franchise because I do not like the it was never real at all plot threads, and that's the whole point of Hellblade. Now, because Setsuna has schizophrenia, and they're doubling down on this. See, I'm going to give you guys a little history lesson, okay, from the paranormal community. Way back when, and we're talking maybe 2000s, academics' biggest thing they like to claim was, oh, you didn't see a ghost, you didn't experience a psychic vision, you didn't experience nothing paranormal, there are no gods, nothing. You experienced a temporary schizophrenic break. This got so bad that actual scientists and professionals in the field got together and told them to knock that off as they were tired of people coming to a psychologist and being like, I think I have schizophrenia because I thought I saw a ghost, and then having to tell them like, hey, look, you might not believe this, but ghosts are real. You probably did just see a ghost. And if you want proof on the whole psychic stuff, again, Science and the Taboo Aside, look it up. Great documentary, lays out all the science. All the science actually does say psychic powers are real. So again, you can see why I'm not a real huge fan of academic scientists. Or as John Keel called them, type B scientists. And that is exactly what Hellblade is bringing back, is that pseudoscience nonsense. That there's no paganism. All your pagan things that you experience is just schizophrenia, and that you're just too stupid to recognize it's schizophrenia. At the same time, they're bragging about, oh, hey, we want this really diverse range of cultural ideals. And it's like, oh, yeah, I'm sure you do, by calling paganism schizophrenia. Go fuck yourselves. I'm generally pretty calm on stuff, but honestly, they can go fuck themselves. Screw that game. Fortunately, everyone watching also found it kind of boring and cringe. Aura, that's the one I was talking about where they showed like most of the female staff just screwing around playing games and stuff like that. I honestly would be kind of embarrassed if I was them. Don't know how they're not. Game itself, presentation was ruined by the DEI stuff. It just was. Like, I have no more hype for this game than I did going in, and honestly, the DEI stuff has kind of poisoned me for a reason I will get into at the end of this. Indiana Jones, yeah, that was just bad. Okay, so first off, it's called the World Circle because, well, if you line up all these religious sites, because it's not going to be like there's actually spirituality in the world. It's going to be some bull crap because it's written by atheists, and how atheists have absolutely no respect for anything other than materialistic views on reality, no matter how much their own science tells them that's wrong. That all these spiritual sites line up and form a circle. That's not how that works, dumbasses. They form connections through the ley lines. Like if you find a map of the I will put on screen a map of ley lines. And if you look at where these intersect, you will find religious sites there. It does not form a line around the world. The only way you could get a line around the world is you essentially only count like 3 sites. And then those 3 sites line up perfectly, on the same what's the name of that word? Latitude. They line up on the same latitude. And it was like, okay, Kevin, we get it. But how on a gameplay level and story is it going to be, aside from the fact that, they're stupid? Okay, so you like girl bosses? Because the second main character is not Indiana Jones. It's a girl boss named Gina, who they had to make sure got one up on Indy in the showcase. Can you keep up with me? Like, you're a journalist, sweetie. He's an adventurer. That'd be like me saying to a female Marine, like, hey, can you keep up with me? And it's like, you're disabled. I'm a Marine. Like, yeah, I don't know why I said that. That was really stupid. I have no qualifications to exceed a Marine's physique. That's weird. It's weird I would say something that stupid. It's almost like I was temporarily controlled by a Hollywood writer. Gameplay, meh. It's Game Pass fodder. I'll be honest, I have thought for a while that Machine Head Games should be shut down. And after watching them wear an LGBT shirt and producing this badly written garbage, really, really just confirming my opinion that they should just be shut down. Because this is a studio that has not made a profitable game since the original Wolfenstein game, which is why you will probably not see Wolfenstein 3, because the communists are the good guys in the Wolfenstein universe, Jews are evil in that universe, and the Nazis are bad because they're not communists. Literally the whole plot of Wolfenstein 2. Summed it up for you, you're welcome. Gameplay was just weak. Nothing really exceptional. Honestly, it drug on and on. Oh, hey, look at the music we have. We got the original composer back from the from the movies. I don't care. Oh, our villain's like really intelligent. He literally doesn't kill the hero when he has the opportunity to. No, he's not. Look, I don't want to say I'm intelligent because I feel like that's like one of those things where you set yourself up for a fall. But let's just say I'm intelligent. If I get an opportunity to kill a hero, I'm doing so. Like, I don't care where I do it. His sleep, while he's on the toilet. If some dude's interfering with my grand plan that actually might be able to thwart my grand plan, who I literally know has previously stopped the grand plan of other people, I'm just going to kill him. Not giving him a chance to stop me. This dude is not smart. It's another one of those written to sound smart by dumb people. Honestly, this showcase was just a massive waste of time. And here's that thing I was telling you about. This came from a supposed developer on a Synthetic Man's comment section where he talks about his experience with diversity in gaming. How, and I'll let you read it yourself. Essentially, there's only been a handful of people that he actually found useful. And you can basically boil it down to everyone who was male, except for black people. And no disrespect for black people. I'm just saying what he said. There are some good black developers, not saying there's not, and women. And again, I think it really boils down to the same issue, is that when you're hiring based on DEI, you're not hiring based on quality. So the good black developers and the good female developers are going to go somewhere where that's going to pay them the most money. DEI hires are not getting paid top tier dollars. You are bottom rung people so that they can get tax deductions and loans. That's it. That's the whole reason why you exist in a company. You're literally useless. Other than basically what someone else will give them to have you there. So in my opinion, that does not foster like the best talent, which really does create a more biased opinion. And without taking a wider look, that's all I'm really going to say on that issue. So when you're showcasing, oh, hey, look at all these female developers we have. Oh, none of them are doing anything developy. They're not programming. They're not working. They're not talking about high, lofty ideals or cool concepts. They have about as much passion as an AI voice. Yeah, I'm not impressed. There's nothing in this entire showcase that gave me anything other than a pause for concern for Microsoft's future, the same as Sony's. You want to know why games are taking longer to develop and cost more? DEI hiring. Straight up. You're probably wondering, though, Kevin, why not focus on the new details of all the games? Because they didn't really give any. Most of the focus was on story elements, and they barely showed off anything significant or meaningful about any of the games. Hence why, at the end of the day, I have to give this showcase a D. You didn't convince me to buying these games. All you did was focus on virtue signaling how many female developers you are, who, if we go off the insider or potential insider, aren't worth a damn in coding. And not one of the ones you showed me actually inspired any level of confidence. And I don't mean that on a sexist level. I mean that just looking at them, I was like, oh, this does not inspire me to have confidence in this person as an individual. You should have presented them in a positive light, and you did. And that's the whole thing. That was most of the showcase, was just presenting them. I wish I could talk about like some really cool details. I wish I could talk about some really cool details of Avowed. Like, oh, hey, we're going to have variable quests. Our environments are going to be different. Your actions will have consequences. Okay, we know that. Hey, Hellblade, we improved the combat. Schizophrenia is still a thing. We're gonna say that pagans are experiencing schizophrenia. Fuck you again. But okay, that doesn't really inspire me to want to play your game. Ours is the only one that really did show a lot of stuff, and other than Square's game, and that's why I say Square's the only one, because they came in like, hey, this is some gameplay. This is how our combat's gonna work. This is how we're focused on these really cute, adorable designs. we made this new character. It's a wolf that's supposed to be cute enough to be a mascot. And it's like, all right, now this is an actual showcase. You are convinced me to buy your game. You're not trying to signal how many females you have working at your company. You're trying to convince me to buy a game. That's a good showcase. And that's really weird that I'm saying that about Square Enix. Would not have thought I'd be saying that about Square Enix. But here we are. And then Aura, like I was saying, Aura didn't really show anything. Like, a lot of focus on the female employees. You could play as multiple types of leaders throughout history, have different perks. There's no real end game victory conditions. It's about accruing. I can't even remember the special word they use for this, but basically acclaim, fame, like a mechanic like that. And then Indiana Jones was the same usual cringy bullshit where you focus on the story and, oh, hey, we made sure the whip was really fun to use. And it's like, well, I'm glad you had a fun whip. Congratulations, you've done the basics of game design. Literally just the basics of game design. That is not something to feel super proud of. You did not accomplish something magnificent. You did not accomplish something outstanding. You just accomplished the basics. Oh, you have puzzles that look bare bones and not that inspiring? Oh, wow. Man, I'm so glad I didn't have other stories that did that, like Tomb Raider or Uncharted or any number of indie games. Wow, I'm so impressed that Indiana Jones does archaeofiction where stuff that hasn't been maintained for hundreds of years magically still works, and that the main character is just too fucking stupid to go about and, I don't know, climb through a hole and climb down another hole. He has to try to get this machine working that by all rights should not really work. Now, to be fair, I would let that slide for most other games, so I'm going to let that slide for this game because that's a nitpick. But at the end of the day, when you don't want to really inspire me to want to play your game and want to double down on girl boss DEI bullcrap, yeah, guess what? Those nitpicks that I would let slide, not going to let slide. So yeah, that's the showcase. Like, there's nothing really to talk about other than the DEI elements. Most of the showcase was DEI with a minuscule, barely any information on the games, very little showcase. Like, you would really have to watch this, as there's entire segments where they're just showing female developers. Literally just showing female developers. Not even developing, just screwing around. Yeah, so honestly, if it wasn't for Square Enix, this would be a total F showcase. Actually, I'd probably give it a G. I would rate it below an F because an F implies just a minimal of failure. You don't deserve an F, you deserve a G. Or a flat out 0. Square Enix saved your show. Let me know what you think, though, in the comments. Hit the like, subscribe button if you so deem fit. Peace out, everybody.